Hello?
This is the Black Hood speaking.
It's been a bit of a wild run right now for this current regime because I feel like there's an impending sense of doom. I don't know if you can sense that energy or not. I feel like there's been an impending sense of doom for quite a while about Kamala, and they've been trying to good vibes it. They've been trying to good vibes it through, and it just hasn't been clicking. It hasn't been hitting with the American people. And I think that's because the American people can spot a fraud, especially when things aren't going well. The American people can tell that things aren't going great in this country. And that there's some real tearing at the seams. The stock market's at an all-time high. Okay, fine. Well, you know what's also at an all-time high? Gas prices, your grocery bills, the unaffordability of housing, the inability for people to get started in the American dream. The entire country is totally lopsided towards a ruling class, the octogenarian ruling class. Sure, Mitch McConnell's done great. Nancy Pelosi's done great. Why don't you talk to a 20-year-old about what their opportunities are? This is a horrible economy for young people. It is, sure, there's a lot of people who are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s that got theirs, but it is atrocious for young people getting started. Everyone is rubbing two pennies together. And that's why you're seeing young people break for Trump. And it's why you're going to require somebody to reverse engineer the mess that is an economy that only serves the gluttonous at the very, very tippy top. And what I mean by that are people like Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. Just think about them in your head. People who've been able to grift and graft off this economy and have, through no merit, but through being in the right place at the right time, or just being born at the right place in the right time, have been able to do well. But the people that the economy should serve, which are the hardworking young people that want to start families and actually grow an economy, they're doing poorly. And that's, again, why you see young people, black, Latino, purple, green. That's why you see young people flocking to Trump. People can spot a fraud. Nancy Pelosi is a fraud. Everyone knows she's an insider trader and a traitor. Kamala Harris is a fraud. Kamala Harris's campaign slogan is a new way forward, a new way forward. We want a new America. We want to turn the page. There's a Kamala Harris campaign slogan. It's fraudulent. People can spot it because then when asked what she's going to do differently, she says nothing. She says nothing. She would do zero things differently. And the American people actually don't want that because we want change. And the change candidate is quite clearly President Trump. And there's something remarkable that's happened with President Trump, which is you have Kamala Harris, representative of a regime that served the last 4 years, Donald Trump, representative of the 4 years before that. So you're able to pit them both against each other. And this is the first time in 115 years that that's been possible for the American people, where you don't have to deal in hypotheticals. You are all over the age of 7 years old. 7 years ago was when Donald Trump was sworn in on the Bible. 7 years ago, you can weigh both these administrations against each other and see which one's better. And what's been fascinating to us as we watch has been a movement toward Trump from some really shocking demographics that would never typically vote Republican because of that calculus. We're going to get into it here today and talk about young black men, Latino men, the guys who are really into, there's something that is innate and is hard-coding into a man, which is to be a provider. God puts it in us. To be a provider. The economics weigh very heavily on men. Opportunities or lack thereof weigh very heavily on men. And having somebody who understands opportunities and can provide that is a major motivator for a man. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, is somebody who clearly not only doesn't have the mental capacity to actually provide this or to reverse engineer these problems, but is somebody who wholesale will create far more problems through her ineptitude and through her imbecilic platforms that she has trotted out today. I mean, Kamala Harris has straight up trotted out straight up racist platforms. Kamala Harris saying she's only going to forgive black men loans. What the hell? Like, so in a desperate attempt to try and reverse engineer the nightmare that they've created with young men, where the Democrat Party does not appeal to young men, and then by proximity, it's just not going to appeal to young women. Kamala Harris will create an opportunity agenda for black men. Kamala Harris says in this tweet that only black men will be able to apply for 100% forgivable loans. Let me explain to you something. Not only is that the definition of racism, it's wholly and completely unconstitutional. The Civil Rights Act actually, at its core, establishes that the government will not be discriminating against age, gender, race, creed, sex. One of them in there is race. The color of your skin, the amount of melanin in your skin shouldn't determine whether America works for you. The incredible thing is that this is not progressive, it's regressive. We talked about this with Obama last week. Obama sitting there saying, you better vote for Kamala Harris because she just like you. What do you mean exactly? You can see the black men behind Barack Obama being like, no, bro, this ain't it. What does that mean exactly? It means that Barack Obama, who's raised by a single mother, white mother from Hawaii, is telling black men that they need to vote for Kamala Harris, who's raised by two professors. Kamala Harris, who grew up in leafy suburbs of Montreal, parlez-vous français, who says she works at McDonald's, but can't provide any proof of that, that somehow she's just like you. That's not how this works. And you're seeing like the end state, like the late stage, like regressive, degenerate race hatred politics that they're trotting out because they're so desperate. They're so scared about this moment. These are not the actions of people who are confident that they will win. These are the actions of people who are flailing and this close to drowning. It's just plainly racist. Kamala Harris says she's going to protect the crypto. Okay, provide 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000 for black entrepreneurs. Bro, would you be able to say that same line for white entrepreneurs? I'm a white entrepreneur. Tim Pool's a white entrepreneur. Charlie Kirk's a white entrepreneur. Tucker Carlson's a white entrepreneur. Do they get loans? Are you going to have like a little card that like, are you going to have a little card, little melanin card? There's like a meme, right? It's like a Family Guy meme where they're like holding up the card to see like what your skin color is. How exactly are you going to do this? Reverse engineer this. If a Republican was saying we're going to provide whites only loans, I would disavow it. I'd say that's effed up. We shouldn't do that. Like, because wasn't that what the Civil Rights Act was all about? Don't we live inside of like a Christian society where we're like doing our best to like not do these kind of things? All men are created equal. You read the scriptures. God created all men. God created them equal, our country said in its founding. So what the F is this? Loan forgiveness, not loan forgiveness. What is that? It's the single most radical policy ever proposed. And it's not even radical. It's not even it's not progressive. It's regressive. It's just race hatred politics. So what's the reverse of that? Like that all white people get punished? Who pays for the loans? What about Hispanic people? What about Asians? Always making a white-black thing. Like there's a lot of people from mixed race families. So what's this about? Like, did you get half your loan forgiven? There's a lot of people that have like 25% this, 5% that, whatever. My wife, she's going to kill me because I said this. My wife, we did like a 23andMe and found some shocking results. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. Found some shocking results. Okay? Found some shocking results that you wouldn't expect. You expect that we were like European mutts. That's just what, you never know. You only know like one grandparent fact. You never know. It's like crazy. So what does this mean? Like the 2 and 3%? The 2 and 3% on your 23andMe? Do you get that much of your loan forgiven? This is like geneticist, racist politics at its best. Kamala says she's going to provide free weed, legalize recreational marijuana opportunities for Black Americans to succeed. What? Who wrote this? David Duke? Who wrote this? Oh, Black people like weed? What? Like, who's writing these policies? If Donald Trump produced policies like this, I mean, this is insane. This coming from the lady who locked up tens of thousands of Black men for using recreational marijuana when she was Attorney General of California. I'm sorry. This is like absolute racial supremacy politics. Like, I'm going to treat my race better than all the other races. It's disgusting. Everyone, every American, no American should be able, no American can even, no one can ever justify this constitutionally. You can never justify this legally. You can't justify this morally, because if you reversed it, if this was just for Chinese Americans or just for Hispanic Americans or just for Guatemalans or just for Germans, like would anybody buy this? No. It's pandering at its worst. Protect cryptocurrency investments for Black men who make them know their money is safe. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read you directly. This bullet point 3. Protect cryptocurrency investments so Black men who make them know their money is safe. What? What? What does that even mean? So wait, what does that mean? So if you're a Native American, if you're living on an Indian reservation right now, and you invest in crypto, you take $5 and you buy Dogecoin, Kamala's not going to protect you. We're not going to protect your meme coin investment. We'll just protect somebody who we identify as Black, which is also so interesting. Like, exactly what do you mean by that? Like, can you define it? What do you mean by Black? I'm so angry. I see this. I'm so angry at it because it's like, it's so regressive. The beautiful thing about capitalism and the way that this country was formed is that merit, for the first time in human history, merit, not birth, merit, not pigmentation, imperfectly at first, and then better than anyone as we abolish slavery and as we break society towards merit only. And then we kind of get there. Did you grow up in the 90s? You remember the 90s? Like, you kind of get there where you're like all of this stuff, all this like race, all this race hatred stuff, like stops, or at the very least is like becomes like very, very like it starts to like fade away almost, because it leaves the consciousness. And every single kid that I grew up in Iowa, every single kid in my neighborhood had a Michael Jordan poster, Shaquille O'Neal poster. Nobody cared. These were like people that deserved to be honored or respected or looked up to because of their achievements. And it's a very important thing to do that. Like, wow, they're just the best. Okay? They're just really good. And not because of like anything other than absolute greatness. Let's stand the test of time. This is the opposite of that. It's saying, like, in fact, like, it's almost diminutive, like Kamala's accents when she speaks to urban audiences. It's almost diminutive. It's like, you need this help because of your skin color. It's regressive. It's Barack Obama saying, because Kamala comes from a certain place or looks a certain way, you have to support her. Not based on her policies, not based on anything she's done, because no one can elucidate anything she's done. You got to support Kamala. It's regressive. Bro, like, reverse engineer it and say, like, yo, just because Trump's white or like, let's say you had a group of orange people and you're like, yo, Trump's orange. Orange, you glad that you support Trump? Trump's orange. You're orange. Support Orange Man. I don't know who you'd be talking to. Girls on South Beach. Orange farmers. There's a lot of those in Florida. Maybe you go to the orange plantation here. You give a speech. Fruit Ninja. Like it's so stupid when you put it in terms of anything else. And it's so unbelievable that we are here, and it's such a sign of desperation. Such a sign of desperation. My team telling me that Kamala's getting ratioed for this hard. It's all over my feed this morning. I just don't know. I just don't know how you can possibly even like say that this is legal. Not only that, but how could it be morally correct? I would disavow it if a Republican was running like this. I would disavow it. Donald Trump saying his presidency was great for Black Americans. His presidency was great for all Americans, right? I see the chat. Yeah. Trump talks to urban areas. He says to Black Americans, what do you have to lose? That's what he said in 2016. And guess what? He won on that message. Because Black Americans are like, yo, like you've done nothing for us. And now Kamala trots this out. Literally trying to buy votes based on race. If any other candidate did this, if Donald Trump dared do this, if there was ever a group that was called Whites for Trump, like there's white dudes for Kamala Harris. It's the cringiest thing in the world. If there was a group called White Dudes for Trump, like what do you think would happen exactly? How many feds do you think would immediately infiltrate that group? It was probably started by the feds, probably started by the FBI. Man, I mean, it's like, we're in a dangerous spot. We're in an embarrassing spot for the country. I hope nobody buys this. I don't think anyone's buying this. We have the reactions to Barack Obama saying you got to support a woman whose both parents were PhD professors raised in Montreal. You got to support her because she's just like you. She's just like you. She's just like you. It's the antithesis. Donald Trump and I are both white. Donald Trump comes from a very different family than me. Donald Trump is not just like me because of because of where his ancestors were raised 1,000 years ago in proximity to the equator, which is where melanin comes from in your skin anyway. Like Donald Trump is not just like me. I like Trump's policies because I like them on their merit. But to say Donald Trump and me are the same person because some type of genealogy is insane. It's just race. That's just like race politics. No, I like Trump because of the results. Barack Obama, earlier this week, went up and did this exact same thing. You've seen the clip before. You see the video before. Have you seen the reactions to this? This is what should give you hope because this isn't working. Barack Obama barking at them. They have to vote for Kamala Harris because she's just like you. Not because of anything she's done, but because she's just like you because she was raised in your communities, he says. An exact quote. I thought. This is the same guy who said, there's no red or blue America. There's just the United States of America. This is the same guy that was supposed to like usher in like the end of all bad race politics. All he did was accelerate it and then reverse some of the worst racist politics in the country. and it's not working. This is there's the silver lining is actually people are so done with this. Listen.
Hey, Barack Obama, as a black man, this must be sad, man. Fuck you, fuck Kamala Harris, and fuck the Democratic Party. We vote for Trump, bruh.
This message is for Barack. Ain't never did a fuck ass thing for niggas in the 8 years he was in the White House ever. Obama. Keep black men's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Man, if you want to sit your biscuit head ass down somewhere, goofy looking motherfucker, like Slender Man looking motherfucker ass, like ain't nobody trying to listen to you, bro. You didn't get the memo. The community ain't fucking with you, dog. We ain't fucking with you. We ain't got 2 words for you. Yes, we do. Hi and bye. We are not fucking with you, B.O.
So they sent Obama to come get us and bring us back to the Democratic plantation. They sent Obama back to come get us. He insulted us. He said, I was highly offended when he said the only reason we voting for Donald Trump is because we don't want a woman in president, so we come up with, yo, shut up. Shut up.
Democrats then unleashed Barack Obama into the wild to shame us black men for not supporting Kamala Harris, despite the fact that she's yet to unveil any policies that represent our interests. Why is it okay for Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and all these other people that supposedly look like me, why is it okay for them to get on TV and shame me for not voting for them simply because they look like me? That is racist, brother.
Barack Hussein Obama, the audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You're a liar.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one, I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does, she tries to politicize it. And she hasn't shown the fact that she wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual.
Ladies and gentlemen, the backlash is here. It's here. And we can show you for the next 20 hours, we could show you clips like this of black Americans being like, how we are not about that regressive. Talk about not going back. Kamala Harris, we're not going back. Man, there's a clip out this morning. There's a clip out this morning of Kamala Harris and her speeches. And it was it was unbelievable when I saw it. Everything is so performative. Everything is so manufactured with her. You can put together a clip like this. This is you want to know why? You want to know why Kamala is losing? It's because nobody trusts somebody who can't deliver speeches without massive billboard-sized teleprompters telling her all of her thoughts to solve the problems that take critical thinking. This is why the backlash is here. This is why the collapse is finally here. Kamala had everything going for her. She had every system rigged in her favor. And this is what destroyed her. People see this. If you fall for this, it's disgraceful. If you fall for this, you're an idiot. You should never vote again. Here we go.
And when we fight, we win. And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government shouldn't be telling her what to do. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. What I call an opportunity economy, so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, and to start a business. So every American has the opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, to start a small business.